Hey friends, welcome back to Rita Talks. I'm Rita, and on this YouTube channel, I just share some of the thoughts, ideas that I've been thinking about, some of the things that have been going on in my life. And in today's video, I have maybe 3 topics that I want to talk about. The first one being an analogy of that's actually very helpful that I came across today of basically attributes of great leaders. The second one is just basically like a moment of gratitude for a specific period in my life, which was about maybe 1 year ago. And the last is just some insights that I've gotten from listening to some podcast episodes with Naval Ravikant and some of his thoughts on some very interesting topics. And so yeah, let's get into it. Starting with the first thing that I wanted to discuss, which is basically some attributes, like a very cool analogy that actually gives a very good idea of the attributes of great leaders. And basically it's the analogy of a farmer. So basically great leaders think like farmers because they don't shout at the crops. So basically you can take here in this whole kind of the crops being the people, the talent, the people that in your organization that you hire and all of that stuff. So don't shout at the crops. So don't shout at your people. That's the first thing. Don't blame the crop for not growing fast enough. So don't blame your talent for not growing fast enough. Don't uproot the crops before they've had a chance to grow. So I think this actually also applies to projects, like especially innovation projects. So don't shout at, well, the first one only applies to people. I guess you cannot just shout at a project. But the second one is don't blame, maybe don't blame the people for the project not going fast enough. Don't blame the crop for not growing fast enough. Then don't uproot crops before they've had a chance to grow. So I think this applies both to people and to projects. Don't pull the plug on the project or on something that you've been trying before you've given it enough of a chance to grow and like enough of a time frame to be able to develop in the way that it can develop. Choose the best plants for the soil, so that's about hiring. Choose the best people for your culture, for your company, for the environment of your company. Then irrigate and fertilize. So that means give your people and your project enough resources to be able to grow. So enough resources in terms of support from you or resources to be able to do the job that they need to do. Then remove weeds. This is very important. You have to get rid of the people that are not helping your culture, because weeds spread super fast. And so you have to be super deliberate about maintaining the culture and the high standard that you have in your teams, and basically maintaining the very specific culture that you want your team to basically embody. And well, first of all, the best way to embody, like to make sure that your team embodies a specific culture, is to embody it yourself, and also get rid of the bad apples. Like make sure that you hire the right people, and when you inevitably hire someone who's not the right fit, and then you realize it, you need to act fast on basically removing this person who's not beneficial to your environment, so remove the weeds. And the last one is, remember, you will have good seasons and bad seasons. You can't control the weather, only be prepared for it. And basically, this applies to life in general. I think you will have good seasons where projects are moving at a fast pace. You will have bad seasons, and you really cannot control the things that are outside of your control that affect all of these things in your life and in your company or in your team. But the only thing that you can do is be prepared by basically having the right systems in place, the right culture, to be able to somewhat take on the bad weather when it inevitably comes. This is the first part of the video that I wanted to bring up. The second one is basically today I was editing one of these videos. I was editing actually 4 of these videos, and basically like I was listening to Rita Talks day 168, and I loved that video so much. I just loved the person that I was at that specific time. Basically, it was, I think, almost a little over 1 year ago. So we're in July, we're on the 7th of July, and I think I filmed this video on the 30th of August 2023. So maybe 11 months. No. Yeah, maybe 11 months ago. 10 months ago. And I can't realize how many things have changed between then and now. And some things have not necessarily changed for the better. I think one reason that I absolutely love this video is that it reminded me of, like, that was before I had all of the hurdles that I had since then, like, where there was this person who came in, like, who I let into my life and who I let somehow mess with me, mess with my head, mess with my mood. I let their negativity and insecurities, I let them project their negativity and insecurities onto me, and I thought that I could somehow change them. So that was before all of that, and I was super optimistic because I was training for my second half marathon, and I was just really, really happy at that time. And I felt strong, and I had just read a bunch of books during the summer, and I was super optimistic about the coming year. I was preparing for my promotion, and just like I had just come out from like launching this big project, which I was proud of, which is kind of the project that allowed me to get promoted. And it was just a lot of good stuff. And I was just so happy today to be able to see that, and so grateful for the fact that I documented that specific period in my life. Genuinely, like, this is exactly why I started this, why I started Rita Talks, why I started filming these videos, just so that basically during periods where I feel like things are not going as great, I can just somehow stumble upon one of these videos where it just kind of reminds me of like a really good day, and a day when I was really optimistic, and I'm just able to see something and kind of reminds me of it, and I can maybe get back to it. So yeah, I just love that, and actually it just got me excited for my next half marathon, which is actually the same half marathon that I was training for in that specific video. So it's the ING Route du Vin, Route du Vin half marathon. So it's in Reymich in Luxembourg, which is a town at the border of Luxembourg and Germany. And yeah, it just got me really excited, and I just loved the kind of energy that I was putting out. I was really, really happy because I was just running. a lot, and that made me feel really good. I had this runner's high, and basically I think I was sleeping really well because basically when you run a lot, you come out super exhausted from the runs, and like you just drop dead on your bed. So yeah, it got me excited about this next phase of my life, and it kind of reminded me of the kind of mindset that I had built up for myself at that specific period of time, or like basically the 6 to 9 months before that. And that was just an amazing period. And I think this year, so far, like since then, this year's like these 10 months since that specific period, I've had lots of ups and downs, and I think I've kind of lost my kind of drive, and I've kind of lost of that optimism, just because I've been a bit more social, and basically I've allowed people in my life that I shouldn't have, and basically have been spending way more time with people, but maybe I have not been super intentional about the kind of people that I let into my life and that I let impact my life. And so lately I've been trying to kind of get that figured out, and basically like somewhat taper down on the interactions that I have with people who do not bring positivity into my life. Starting with that specific person that I was talking about earlier, and a few other people actually that I've really tapered down on seeing, which is good. I think I am the happiest when I don't spend that much time with people, except a very just a small handful of people that I spend time with, that whenever I spend time with them, I'm just over the moon and so excited about the future, and so excited about all of the possibilities that we can do together and the things that we can accomplish together. Those are the people that I cherish. And I just need to basically remember, work myself back to slowly going back to, I mean, not necessarily going back, but basically just slowly regaining that optimism, that excitement, and that belief that I've somewhat lost over the past 10 months since then. Maybe I would say it was not over the past 10 months, but maybe 6 months. I've kind of lost that a bit. Well, let's say, no, maybe it's a bit more than that, 7 months. Since, well, basically I started hanging out with this person more. Yeah, now it's definitely like I am super intentional about not being around this person at all. So yeah, just really happy with how much progress I'm making in that sense, and just being super clear about who I do not want in my life, and just being completely intransigent about that. So yeah, that's why I absolutely loved this video, and I think maybe now would be a good time to go and rewatch it. It's a good video, and I think you will enjoy it. So just go back and watch that one. It's one that I loved the energy of, and I just loved that kind of positive vibe that I got from it. So super grateful for that. And now on to the last thing that I wanted to discuss today. And so basically today I went for like a 2 hour walk, and I was just listening to these Naval podcast episode. I don't think it's his official podcast. I think it's I don't remember the guy's name, but It's this guy, he's compiling these podcasts on Spotify, and there were just like so many insights. Let me just show you how many notes I took from this. So these are all the notes that I took from, like, I wanted to take more notes, but also I didn't want to, like, I think I didn't want to make it harder for me to kind of listen to more podcast episodes, because I've seen this as a trend, that the more notes I make myself take, the less likely I am to kind of go back and listen to more podcasts and more books. So I'm just trying to be less, to find a middle ground between taking notes and also not having the pressure of taking notes, because in the end, what's more important is the fact that I keep listening and that I don't stop learning and like learning these new topics. And so if taking more notes leads me to reducing the frequency of listening to podcast episodes or learning, like listening to books and stuff like this, then maybe it's better that I don't take as many notes. So yeah, sorry for the sideline, but anyway, let's see some of the things that I thought were really cool. Yeah. So just to get back to this idea of deciding who you spend your time around and like kind of deciding on your environment, there's this like basically the one that I'm referring to is this one, Naval, on conquering the mind. Can you see? Duck. I don't know if you can see. No. All right. That looks like it. Okay. Naval on conquering the mind. You can just look it up on Spotify. And basically, there's this like, it's just a good reminder, right? That you become your environment. That's why it's like critical to surgically and savagely arrange your environment in a way that is in accordance of where you want to go. And this is not something that actually Naval says, it's something that the guy that he's interviewing says. And I have no idea who this guy's name is, because in the episode they don't mention who he's having this discussion with. So if you know who he's having this discussion with, let me know in the comments. I would love to know, because I just thought this guy was very, very cool. And Naval was mentioning that this guy posts some stuff on Twitter, but he did not never mention his name, or at least not in this specific Spotify episode. Let's see. Can you see this? Yeah. So I can't see what's the name of this guy. So if you know who is talking in this episode, I would love to know. But yeah, this is something that he says, and basically kind of drills further into that by like just saying that, like summarizing it by saying that you become that which you are most consistently exposed to. So this is just like was a very, very, very cool cool way to put it. I just thought it was just perfect. And basically this episode was very, very philosophical, and I just kind of loved it, because it just like got into some topics that are kind of hard to grasp, and some topics that sometimes my mind goes to, but I cannot exactly verbalize. You know how sometimes you have an idea, like a concept in your head, but it's not developed enough to be able to put it into words. It's just like some link that's being made, like you notice something and you're like, huh, that looks interesting. And you just like, somehow there is a connection that's happening in your brain, and you're not exactly able to verbalize it. And it's really hard to do. And basically, at least that's my experience, is that I've only been able to like verbalize it after having noticing that multiple times, and then this pathway in my brain starts to get stronger and stronger, and at some point I'm able to put it into words, but it takes a long time and it takes a lot of occurrences of it happening before you can form it into like a proper concept. And I just thought that in this specific episode, the one that I showed you guys on Conquering the Mind from Naval and this mysterious guest that he's interviewing that I don't know the name of, there were so many things that, like, I had like somewhat of a weak pathway in my brain, and the moment he said it, I'm like, huh, that's interesting. Yeah, that kind of makes sense, and like just kind of starting to reinforce that pathway so that it eventually starts to make sense. But yeah, I just really enjoyed listening to these nuggets of wisdom. I've just mostly been listening to Naval stuff during my 2-hour walk, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, that actually made me make like a commitment to myself that I am done reading tactical books, like, for example, Expert Secrets or like YouTube Secrets or whatever, because these are books that are not here for truth seeking, but mostly for hacking your way to something. And basically, I would rather read books that enhance my understanding of the world. And I think Naval talked about at some point about how understanding is the best way to change your behavior. So anyway, enough about that. I think my camera is about to cut off. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You can click here to watch my previous video on this channel, the one right before this one, or you can click here to watch my latest video on the channel overall. Thanks again. Okay, it cut off before I could close it off. So anyway, thanks again for tuning in. Bye for now, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.